Hello.
Hello, friends.
How's it going? Episode 810. Welcome to Brain Candy Podcast. This year is flying by.
Like, for real. I've realized as an adult, aging adult rapidly, that now I don't even look at years of like measuring it in a year. It's just like the beginning, the cold months, and then the hot months. And that's it. And I can't even look at like what the date is on the calendar because
Why?
it all
What do you
seems
mean
like
by that?
it just flies by so fast. You know, if I think of like, oh, if I try to say, oh, we're in January, I don't have to worry about that until June. June is already here. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. It feels like the months, it just changes. Time is different. It feels just shorter. There's just like, instead of the year being 12 months, it's just 2 parts. The first part, the second part.
Two-parter.
2 parts. Yeah.
Yes.
The calendar is shifted.
I mean, we're almost halfway. So I hope everyone is keeping their New Year's resolutions still.
I know I am.
Yep. She's stretching her whole body constantly.
Whole body. I've been going to I was telling Susie before we started recording, I've been going to pelvic floor Pilates classes. That's a thing.
Mean, there is no amount of money that could get me to a pelvic floor Pilates class.
It's basically just a core class.
Then maybe they should rename it.
Yeah, but when people say pelvic floor, it weeds out like, I don't know, gym bros.
Do they go to regular Pilates?
I actually don't know if I've seen any men at the Pilates classes I've gone to.
That's what I mean. They could just go.
They're missing out
Pilates.
though. That I'm telling you, it's the hardest. I've mixed it up. I've been going to that. It is the hardest thing out there. Mm-hmm. It is so, and you move your leg like 2 inches, and it's excruciating. You're like, how am I this sore? I am making noises every time I stand up and sit down this week because. I mean, it's very different than just lifting weights at the gym. I don't think any of those gym bros could hang in a Pilates class.
No, that's why they're not there.
I really don't think that they would last.
But this is a genuine question.
Yeah.
It sounds fake.
Okay.
Do men have a pelvic floor?
Oh my God, that's a very good question. I think yes, but it
they
doesn't.
Must.
It
they
doesn't collapse
pelvis.
in the same ways that ours do.
Right.
That's
like
a really good. Here's what I've learned in this. Journey to heal my body that I don't know fuck all about my own body, the parts that I have. Mm-hmm. I don't know what even is a pelvic floor.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry. Come again.
Everybody just keeps saying, "Oh, those muscles when you cough."
We just accept that it's real. We don't know.
Right.
We've never seen one.
Never seen one, but
yeah,
I know mine ain't working right. So. Yeah.
Well, yours is getting a nice stretch.
It's getting a nice stretch. It's getting a good stretch. Yeah.
Well, good for you. She's keeping her New Year's resolution.
How about you? How are your New Year's resolution? How's your year of wonder going?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of my themes and goals is they're a joy to do.
And you could really do it every day. You just have to have wonder about that day. I
Yeah.
wonder why this day sucked.
Yeah, I technically completed my goal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, nothing big to report over here. No drama, no
That's
incidents.
Good.
Yeah.
No news is good news.
Yeah. So we can just brain candy.
No thumbs have been cut off. We're not losing any body parts.
There was something that happened the other day and somebody was like, you people are cursed. I forget what it was. Me or Adam. There was some sort of thing where people are just starting to wonder, like, what is going on
happening
over
there? Right.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on things. But no, it's been uneventful.
Good.
Okay. Just a quick question. Did you hear about the person who worked in an art gallery who hung up their own artwork on the sly? Did you hear about that guy?
Yeah, but I feel like it was a big gallery, right? It wasn't. Was it a big museum? They kept
calling it a gallery, but it felt like more of a museum situation.
Yeah,
but I think technically it was a gallery.
Okay. So like a gallery inside a museum. So this
which
employee,
I guess means they were selling things, right? Is that the difference? Oh, I think that's what we learned in that.
That does not like it makes a huge, but I can see why that does matter.
Yeah, and then he got caught and he
So
got fired.
This guy was like, they think this is good. Wait till they see.
You think that's what he thought?
On the wall. Well, what do you think? Or is the thought process like, I'm gonna throw a wrench into things, and I'm gonna try to sneak this in here and see if anybody catches it, or I'm gonna see if anybody goes for it. Like, what is he thinking? Is it a prank?
Yeah.
Is he doing it in earnest? Like,
no, I guess you're right. I don't know if he had such a big head about it. I think it was just like, you create art so you want people to see it.
I keep running into these situations, and maybe this is something about being a little neurospicy or something like that, where I really need to know the person's thought process, because there are thoughts, right? There are thoughts that are happening. It's not just like he did it on a whim.
Yeah,
I want to know
had an intention.
Yeah,
I
want somebody to always, when I'm like, when I can't understand how they got from A to Z or whatever.
Wait, so you feel like, why would he do that? I feel like I would totally do that.
Oh, I feel like, I don't know if I would totally do that, but I want to know the intention behind it.
What's the
I
motive?
want to know, like, what is your thought process? What inspired you? What are the thoughts? If we could like put a microphone into your brain and I could know what is happening.
I think for most artists, there's this sense of, you don't want to do it a tree falling in the woods. You want people to see your art.
But that seems like a big jump from, I just work at the art gallery, to let me hang this amongst the other.
So you feel like this was about ego. He thought, I'll show you some good art. Maybe.
Could be
It
that.
could have been, sure.
Or like, maybe I'm open to all ideas. Maybe it's like he tried and tried to get his work featured in galleries and nobody was giving him the time of day. So he's like, fuck it. I'm just going to hang it up. And then maybe if I sell one, these galleries will actually care. And I could say that my art sold at this gallery.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that. But I want to know, like,
maybe the real art was a performance piece.
I think that is a very fair thing. I think that is more likely.
All I know is this poor fool was fired.
Right.
And I don't know why. What is the big deal?
I want to know who he is. Like, if this is I imagine, I haven't seen a photo of him or the artwork, but
right, you want to see the art.
Everything matters. And in my mind, I hope it's one of those like museum docents who's like 86 years old.
Right.
And he's just like, look, I don't have much longer here.
This is my last chance.
They're not even paying attention to my artwork.
I think we're all picturing, though, somebody that is not 86.
I was hoping it's not that.
Like,
in that case, fire that guy's ass.
Really? Because you feel
I don't know
like it's
if it feels
disrespectful.
Yeah, if it feels and it's like saying my artwork needs. That's why I need to know what his intentions were, because if he is that guy who's just like, I don't know, that I'm gonna cause a ruckus and stir up something in the art world, then I'm like, no, you wait in line like everybody else. Fuck all the way off. And if there are, is this a white man?
Well, that's what we don't know, but we can assume.
Yeah. If there are any women or people of color's art hanging in that gallery, fuck all the way off, because you took the space of somebody who is, and now you're like, no, mine's better. So
what if
I gotta know.
he thought it was funny? Because that is my favorite kind, where he was just like bored.
Yeah. I mean,
we've all had jobs where we're
right.
just trying to create a little action.
And this could also be a bet. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen if I hang this up? Could you imagine that? And everybody else is just being quiet about it?
No, everyone's like, do it.
Yeah.
Right, like when you're in high school and someone's like, should I eat this booger? Or, and everyone's like, yeah, do it. Maybe that's what happened.
I feel... Who are we more upset about? Who are we more, like, wagging a finger at? This person who tried to sneak their art in, Or, and now the other one I was just thinking of left my brain.
Mm.
It was somebody we were just complaining about
It's hard to narrow it down.
in the art world.
But I'm not wagging my finger at him. I'm wagging my finger at them for firing him. Like, can you cool your jets? It's not that big of a deal. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? It's funny. You can't blame a guy for trying.
Oh, I know. The feather guy.
Oh, well.
Who are we
Theft
more
is
right.
way worse.
Theft or
Hilarious.
thinking you're better than everybody.
Theft is way worse.
Okay. All right. Right.
Well,
okay. I guess
What
so.
is way better and also very artistic is Thrive Cosmetics.
Oh, shout out to Thrive. The best.
Shout out to Thrive,
and
the very
not
best.
not problematic.
Not problematic in
The
the
opposite
least.
of that.
They support the community by donating. As a matter of fact, I would reach down, but it's a whole production. I have this magazine that you get when you get plastic surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all about like beauty, like the latest like beauty procedures or
Yeah.
products or whatever. And they had a whole article about tubing mascara, and they chose 3 top ones. And
there you go.
Thrive tubing mascara that we won't shut up about was in there. And this wasn't an ad or anything. It was just
Right.
like, here are the ones we
Yes.
recommend. So I'm telling you, the Liquid Lash Extensions mascara is the real deal, but all their products are fantastic. I have their lipstick on right now. Brilliant.
They're
eye brightener.
everything on right now.
Well, yeah, I do have the mascara on too.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. Right now you can get an exclusive 10% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 10% off your first order. Oh, I also have the primer on. I love
you
their
love that primer.
No, it's great. It's like sheer. What's that word where like illuminating?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I will never probably know the story behind this guy, but it's funny anyway.
Yeah. But I do encourage people to prank the art world.
Like what?
I don't know, like sneak your own painting into a museum.
Why is that better?
I don't know. It just feel it because you're not looking to sell it. You're just looking to like mix things, like shake it up a bit.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
Okay, so it's the consumerist side that you
Yeah.
object to.
Yeah, kinda.
You don't want them to make a living off of it. just get some attention. Okay, good to know. That's what Sarah
Look,
says.
I'm all over the place.
You know what? That's fine. We don't have to be consistent around
No.
here.
Place.
Okay.
That's for sure.
But I have a confession. This is very embarrassing.
Oh my God, I love this. Okay.
Okay. Remember
These are my
last week
confessions.
when I was talking about the Jinx
Oh yeah, yeah,
and how there's a new season.
yeah.
And, you know, it's about what happened after the Jinx docuseries came out, his arrest and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it.
Uh-huh.
And then I talked about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, phew, I mean, they are really going heavy on like, so embarrassing.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
on the recap element. And I was like, this is genius that they were basically recycling the same material.
Yeah.
I watched 6 episodes
Oh,
before I realized that I just had rewatched season 1.
Oh no. Susie!
Yeah. And I wasn't mad about it. I was into it. And it was as if it were all
Wow.
I was like, wow, I didn't know this or that. I'd already seen it.
You're like, did I even watch the first one? Look, we
it
have
is
all
weird.
been there.
I mean, it really shows how much your brain like gets rid of and disposes eventually.
And I believe that this was at a time when this was like right at the beginning of the pandemic or pre-pandemic where it just everything kind of blended together.
No, it was
After that?
It was 2016.
Okay, then
Or
there's no
2015.
excuse that came out at the regular time.
I mean, I have watched a fair number of documentaries
Yeah,
since
yeah.
then, but
Listen, I'm trying to help you out, Sus.
you would seriously think I would have been bored.
Sick, the whole
All
thing.
I was like, is like, this is awesome that they are totally like, they can make a whole nother series of the same story. And then when we get to that last scene with the hot
Yes,
mic,
yes.
and I was like, hold on a
Oh my God! Like, wait a second.
Anyway, the season 2 I have since started, and it is great. And
Okay.
they're not recycling stuff. There is a lot of new information. So
Do you feel the same?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, okay. Still
Oh,
guilty.
you mean about his guilt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's even worse. I mean,
Oh
there's
my
so
God.
much
Okay,
more.
good.
It's really just amazing how long he got away with everything.
Jesus.
And then if he just hadn't done the Jinx,
Oh my, he
he would still be a free man. But he probably would have killed someone else by now. Because this is the kind of guy he is.
Guaranteed. Oh my God. He had a taste
So
for
you should watch it.
blood.
But do not watch
But don't watch the first one again.
unless you just loved it.
I watched it twice because I remember I was dating somebody who hadn't seen it. And then I was like, I have
You
to
gotta
watch
it.
you
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah, right. And I like that part where, he had sent the letter to the police, Beverly Hills police.
Yes.
Was like misspelled
Spelled it
Beverly
wrong.
in the writing. And then they found this envelope that had the same. And I was like, so into Okay, that's embarrassing, but now you know.
That's like the least embarrassing thing.
I also watched on Disney Plus, there's a documentary called The Mission. And it's about this guy who was really into his faith. He was like, grew up in evangelical Christianity and really felt that sense of calling to spread the gospel. And, like where they go to far off lands and they think that these people have never heard of it and that they're whatever, they got to save their souls.
Spreading the good word.
Yeah. But then, how there's also those ones that like insist on going to like indigenous or like uncontacted peoples.
Right. Like they're going to tell them
and they don't even speak any language that any of us know, even period.
Right.
And they think they're somehow going to impart this story. And then they like get speared. And so that is what this is about. This young guy who went to this island on his own. I think he was like 19 or something. And he truly believed he was going to convert these uncontacted indigenous people who like everyone knew, and they had already killed everyone who tried to go there.
What is this kid thinking?
It's fascinating looking to like delusion and faith and mania and like if you believe something.
Yeah, where all of that intersects. It's the perfect storm.
There's almost nothing that would like compel me to do something like that. And yet there was nothing that could stop him.
Had there been other stories about this being successful?
No. Well, in this particular tribe?
Right.
Or just like in the world ever?
Maybe in this particular tribe.
There was a guy who participated in the documentary that I loved hearing from. He had been a missionary. I think it was in the Brazilian
Amazon?
Yeah, the Amazon, like those tribal people. And he had lived there for like 20 years. And he eventually, this is why he was so interesting. He ultimately was converted.
That's what I think usually happens. Yes.
Like he's now an atheist.
Yes.
And
that feels more correct.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because none of those, how things are done according to evangelical Western religion does not work in tribal Amazonian cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not going to be, it's just not like that. And I feel like the more you connect to the nature around, the farther away you would get from those beliefs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he really tried in earnest, and he talked about like how hard it was, and you got to give them credit for like being so persistent and faithful. Yeah. I mean, there is a real beauty to that, but for him to come back and be like, you know what, that was really dumb, and I changed my mind. That was fascinating perspective.
Yeah, I like that.
I just don't know what the sort of ingredients are that create this recipe of somebody having that kind of devotion that defies sense
Right.
in terms of like safety and that kind of
Yeah.
faithfulness is like scary to me.
Yeah. Well, don't you feel like that's what you see with in just a smaller way, or in not as an extreme of a display of that, with people who follow the prosperity gospel and who are like giving away their last pennies, where that's like seems almost delusional in a way, like,
Well, maybe, but they get something theoretically in their formula. They're investing in there's going to be a payoff,
yeah,
financial and
right.
physically. Whereas this guy was just doing it to save other people from hell.
I see. No payoff for him.
Yeah, like no obvious payoff.
Right. More just like what he thinks is the right thing to do.
Yeah, and when you're watching the film, you just think like, don't go.
Oh God.
Come on. And it's
I say this. I feel like I felt the same watching the guy who lived with the grizzly bears.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Man.
Don't go. Don't.
Exactly.
What do you expect to happen?
Yes, that is exactly right. And that's a real specific feeling for your viewer.
Yes. We know how this oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not as accepting of you as you believe they are.
Right. They are wild.
Right.
Dummy. Yes. Okay. Tell you what else is wild.
Yeah.
How much money I'm saving on Rocket Money.
Man. My favorite thing is when we get screenshots from people who are like, oh shit, you were right. I love being right.
She does.
And Rocket Money helps me be right about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because I like just being able to see my finances, see my spending and tracking it. That's great. But the stuff that's the clincher is how they'll negotiate lower bills for, various things, insurance, whatever. They'll tell you if you have like subscriptions, so you can ask yourself, is this really necessary?
Yep.
No, it isn't, Suze.
Yep. They'll let you know if any subscriptions secretly changed their prices on you.
Mm-hmm. So it is fantastic. I recommend it to everyone. You will thank me. People have, and they send messages saying, I saved all this money. It's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. They have over 5 million users, saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/braincandy. That's rocketmoney.com/braincandy, rocketmoney.com/braincandy.
Yes.
Let's talk about...
You saved $375 as compared to last week. I'm like, thank you. I'm winning.
And how great is that?
Yeah. Okay. What are you saying?
Let's talk about hospital beeps.
Oh my God. For
Everyone
real.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You ever been to a hospital?
Yep. Recently.
You ever hear beeps nonstop?
Yep.
Okay.
And nothing will send you into a panic more than when those beeps change. Beep, beep, beep. What the fuck just happened?
That's right, Sarah. And it is a real problem. And scientists have been studying these darn beeps because if you work at the hospital, you're exposed to 1,000 alarms per shift.
Oh my, okay. This makes sense. This is making a lot of things make sense for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
Well, I was recently hanging out with a group of doctors, and one of their alarms went off, and they have that alarm that's like a siren, like like a lot of beeping, basically. And I was like, how does that? No, that is not good for your health. But now, when you say that they're exposed to that many beeps and that many noise, I think it's just normal. It's like fine.
Yeah.
That's scary.
But they found that only 15% of them are clinically relevant. So they have tons of false alarms, and that creates alarm fatigue. Where
Right. So you don't listen to them. It's basically like the sky is falling thing.
you might not listen to them, or you might like get them mixed up and not get them right in terms of what they mean. And so like these probably health care groups are trying to introduce these global standards so that there's consistency across like manufacturers.
Yeah.
So like at least they're
kind of like how a ambulance siren sounds different in every country you go to. That if you heard something that you might not get out of the way from because you don't recognize the noise, so they want to make it consistent so everybody knows this noise means this, universal, right? That makes so much
that's
sense.
step one is to make it so that everyone are the same. And then because many of the alarms now sound the same in terms of the timbre, the quality of like the character of the sound, and then the frequency and the tone. And so like they believe that by changing them, you can actually make them like a more pleasant sound.
Okay.
And you still get the patient care, but there isn't that alarm fatigue.
Yeah.
They found that sounds with like percussive like noises contain like short bursts of high frequency energy, like clinking wine glasses.
Oh, yeah.
They stand out even if they're at a very low volume. So they're quiet, but you hear them still.
Oh, interesting.
Whereas like the loud, flat tones.
Right. That's easy to ignore.
Like a truck reversing. It makes you want to just, pull your hair out.
Yeah.
They get lost and because they somehow in your brain, they sort of like become, you almost don't notice them.
Yeah.
Eventually.
You know what? Have you noticed that Amazon's trucks have a different noise backing up?
No.
Oh, they do. They make like a it's this weird noise that's unlike any other reverse noise.
Why?
And every time I hear it, I go, "Oh, Amazon's here."
So you think it's like a Pavlovian? Yep. You're like, "Oh, I got a package."
Yeah, and I wonder if that was done intentionally. Why are they different?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because although maybe it's better because I can't stand that like regular reversing.
Interesting.
But they said that these new sounds are considered 88% less annoying.
I like that.
And then you can still help everybody, and
I want to hear some of these new sounds.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't include them, but I'm just thinking if I worked in that industry, I would be like not into it.
The change or the beeps?
The beeps.
Right.
It would make me nuts because if you have a sensitivity to music or noise, it's
right.
And it's not always rhythmic. Like it can.
Right.
It's not just sort of
not
beat.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they do it. God bless them. Lord's work.
It really
but at
is.
least they're kind of on top of it.
Yeah. And it just shows you that like a lot of these things that we don't really think about that have just become like normalized have a big impact on productivity, production, whatever it is, on well-being, on.
Yeah.
And
while they're at it, they need to stop with these 24-hour shifts.
Absolutely. There's a lot that should change in that.
I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
They're all in this camp of like, well, I have to do it, so then the new kids have to do it. Like, since they went through this hell, then they're like, so now it's your turn.
24 hours seems insane for anybody to be working. And even if you get to sleep, you're not really sleeping.
I still don't know what the logic is there.
Is it because maybe a patient stays for that long and they need the doctor to be the same doctor
if
treating?
we got to the brass tacks, it would be
money.
Always,
always.
Okay. Moving on. I forget, did we already talk about how North Korea blurred that guy's pants?
Wasn't what I was expecting you to say, but nope, didn't talk about that. Need to hear about that. Don't even know about that.
I could have sworn I already talked to you about this.
Blurred pants.
Okay,
We
so
sure
like
do talk a lot on here about random things, but I think I'd remember this.
Okay, BBC reported that North Korea TV censored Alan Titchmarsh's trousers. This is a guy who hosts the BBC gardening program. What the heck's it called? Alan Titchmarsh's Garden Secrets.
Titchmarsh's is basically the only name for a gardener. Like, you have a marsh in your name, and titmouse is a thing, and tits in your, like, it seems very
It
gardening.
just sounds right.
And British.
We still don't know the answer of why North Korea was like, okay, fine, we'll let this gardening show air, because almost all the shows on North Korea TV are like Kim Jong-un's party mix or whatever. And so for some reason they were like, fine, you can garden. And so, but he wears jeans and they're banned in North Korea. And so they blur his trousers.
That is like the Barbra Streisand effect.
Totally.
Is what you're doing with that. Because now, if I'm a kid watching that show, a kid, like whoever's watching the garden, I'm like, I gotta know what's underneath. It now looks like there's more of
like
a problem.
he has a gigantic wiener or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Because why would I mean, maybe they
I wonder
assume
how Mr. Titmarsh feels about this.
he loves it.
I bet.
Yeah, he's this old guy, and he says that he feels like he finally got. He says he got a bit of street cred.
Oh,
I mean,
street cred.
I bet it's not often that you'd feel cool when you host like a gardening show on the BBC.
Show. Yeah, that you're real controversial.
Yeah, show. Right. He's edgy.
Edgy. Yep.
Isn't it funny though that I know there are more perplexing things about North Korea than their policy on pants.
But it's an important. But come on.
I know.
Come on. Tell me how jeans are going to take down.
They say they're a symbol of the West.
I get it. That's the same as the music in what was that place?
Yeah, where was that? Turkey? Something?
They are like, no, none of this.
No ballads.
Jeans. What do they want? Just like khaki dockers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some pleated.
Just some
cackers.
real, like.
Yeah, that Kim Jong, he always wears those like black, like polyesters.
Yeah, like a not very breathable material.
I mean, he's not like a style icon.
I didn't think that jeans were like the gateway drug for great gateway fashion for.
I think so.
All
then,
things.
Next thing you know, jeans
tops.
like mini skirts,
jorts.
Tops.
Next thing you know, we'll be wearing jorts, which by the way are back.
They never left, if you ask me. I love a jort.
Do you?
Do you not? Do you hate jeans shorts?
Well, I hate jean shorts that aren't. You don't have a hungry ass. I got a butt that will eat my shorts.
What?
Like it's starving, and I can't wear the chafing that one would they have to be a long, like at least mid thigh. I gotta have a 5-inch inseam on those babies.
Or what?
Or else they are so far up my crotch.
Oh, in the front?
Front, back, sides, all places. There's something that, you know what jeans do when you sit for a while?
Oh,
Susie?
Yes.
And they get like, Mike, what's happening right? And you got to do this thing where you go, you got to like pull them out of your crotch. It is exceptionally terrible with jean shorts.
When I said no and you were about to yell at me, I was saying, like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know that it's jeans specific.
Yeah, well, you can imagine the material is a little thicker.
That's what I think would make them stay like sturdier.
No, they still go up there. They just are
hard to get out.
Hard to get out, and then just rub in the wrong way.
Well, so what kind of shorts do you wear?
Oh, what kind of shorts? I don't wear a lot of shorts. I do wear linen shorts sometimes. Sometimes I wear jean shorts, but only if they're longer.
What else? I'm always fascinated by this because I'm always accused of wearing jeans all the time, which is true. But I'm always like, what is everyone else wearing?
Yeah. I wear a lot of, sometimes wear like bike shorts with like a long t-shirt on top. I like that. No ride-up problems there.
Then I think the leggings people love that kind of short.
Yes, Correct.
The black, like
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Huh.
it would, there seemed to be, and like my butt's always sticking to like the seat of my car when I wear those short shorts. So I got to get some, like I love an athletic material that's like a wicking material that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Well, don't go to North Korea, whatever you do.
No. Well, or
Okay.
maybe do because I don't have any jeans to wear there.
Yeah, that's true. You guys are on the same page about
Yeah, I'm
denim.
like, give me those polyester shorts.
Well, I'll tell you what you can probably take there, and that's liquid IV, and that's because it defies. It's like
Yeah,
a
borderless.
geopolitical.
Yeah, no problems.
Right. It's like John Lennon's Imagine, but in
Do
a
you
beverage.
like being hydrated? Do you object to good hydration?
Right.
Electrolytes? Vitamins?
Mhm.
No.
No, you don't. That's why it's something we can all agree on in these divided times.
Yeah.
Liquid IV is for everyone because everyone needs to get hydrated. You just pour it into your water. You'll hydrate twice as fast. They have amazing flavors. You can even make mocktails and cocktails.
Yes.
And it's just great for those
My brother's a
hot
big
summer
fan of
days.
the tart green apple.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's
I
into
like that. And if you're going to go to the beach or to the gym, anything you're doing this summer, you should take it with you. Traveling, big time. Here's the scoop. Turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code CANDY at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code CANDY at liquidiv.com. Has vitamins in there too, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay. Moving on. Should we talk about dogs?
I love talking about dogs.
Okay. There was an article in the New York Times about those dog hotels.
Oh, yes.
Are you familiar with these?
Yeah, and it's insane. I'm saying that as a dog owner who loves their dog. No, I mean former dog.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bo.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you would leave Bo, you're just going to normal
I
boarding.
would use like Rover, like the apps where I would like have somebody like drop it off at their house and then they get the backyard to play in. But I've gone to the boarding places. I've used those doggy hotels before.
Oh, but not the fancy ones.
I have one
you
time
have?
used a fancy hotel.
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, where they gave me options of which room my dog could stay in, and some of them looked like had this like a dog house in there that looked like a castle. Like they were like decorated in different ways, and I was like, my dog can be with the regular. Like
So
it was like solo. Would you like your dog like its own suite? I'm like, my dog doesn't need a fucking suite. Go put him in the back with all the rest of the animals.
So
I did not
like
care.
City View, Lake View, or whatever. Like you could pick.
I'm sure at some they have that. This one was just like, would you like your dog to have its own? And then some of them had cameras that you could like watch your dog. I'm like, the dog's fucking fine. I'm gonna be gone for 48 hours. Just feed her.
Why
give her
did you
water.
Take your dog there. It was the only option. Or
I
you were
believe
just, like,
these were
testing
in the
it?
days where I was with somebody who cared about very fancy things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm sure Bo, or what was the other one? Sigmund. I'm sure they were very.
Yeah, I believe this was a place that took Sigmund.
I don't think that. I was going to say that about the dog liked it, but I don't think they notice.
No, I don't notice.
This article, the journalist went with their dog and stayed at the hotel and slept in the room.
Well, it's nice enough for a human. I get it.
Yeah, there's no beds though or anything, so it was like,
What you done?
not comfortable, but like they have a TV and like on the TV it would be like, Beethoven or like Lassie or whatever. But this person was describing like what it was like and what goes on there, and they were trying to determine how societally we got so obsessed with our dogs.
Yeah.
Because they were saying like spending on dogs has like increased.
That's the part that I couldn't understand is that they were asking at these doggy hotels for about the same price as what I would pay. It was like $78 a night or something. And I'm like,
yeah, Hampton
I could go
Inn.
stay at that Motel 6 for the same price.
For sure.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yes. Well, they were saying that the increase in spending on dogs correlates with the amount of time we're spending with our pets.
Oh,
We're spending
okay.
a lot more time with them.
Yeah, this makes
And so,
sense.
yeah, naturally then, maybe bond more and then feel this like sense of responsibility or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just like want to make them happy probably because maybe you love them. But the thing that really stuck out to me in the article was that it says that pet owners were twice as likely to report being depressed as those without pets. Does that surprise you?
Pet owners are more likely to be depressed than...
Yeah. You know how you all say, like, these dogs make me so happy. That's why I need to take off when they die or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, according to the data,
Okay.
that is not the case in terms of, like, overall happiness.
I wonder what if you had a person and you measured them before and after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're saying maybe they got the dog because they're depressed.
Right. Exactly. Maybe people who
Maybe.
aren't depressed just don't get animals like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something else we don't know.
Maybe. Who knows?
And then there's one last.
It is like kids, they say like that it's not always the best days, that sometimes, people will say, like, they say having a kid brings them less joy, but then when they look at it over a long period of time, it brings immense meaning and happiness. And so maybe there's a little bit of that, like the daily frustrations of picking up after a dog, but the overall meaning. And
I don't know, because the word depressed doesn't sound like that kind of, just like daily.
Right.
But I don't know. Then the last thing in the article that I thought was funny is they were describing, like, they were trying to emphasize how some pet owners get cook crazy.
Yeah.
And this dog hotel said that they had this one lady that would call every day to play the kazoo to her dog.
Oh, for goodness sake. See, that's the kind of, or I'm like, a lot of the things that I see in dog hotels and what I thought you were going to get at with this are so much more for the owners than they are for the dogs.
It's like that movie Best in Show.
Yes.
Which I love. It's
so
super funny.
It's so good. It's definitely like that. And the couple that ends up divorced in the end, or they're like fighting over the busy bee.
Is it Parker Posey?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, this is a busy bee. And she's like, so, and she thinks the dog is like having a meltdown. The dog's fucking fine. Meanwhile, she's having the meltdown.
Yes.
And it's like, this is what's happening. Because when they were asking at the dog hotel I went to, like, we have you pay more for an upgrade to the dog's a private room. I was like, what dog wants to be alone? You're going to give that dog the option, the pack or solo. I think you should charge more for him hanging out with the pack. That's what he wants. That's what they want. That's not what the dog wants. That's what the person wants.
I think we should also just mention that nobody should be playing a kazoo, period. Let alone to your pet. I was like, who has a kazoo?
Right.
I mean,
I did just see a video of a donkey that really loves those rubber chickens and goes crazy over them. And it was cute. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen, Suze. And I watched 3 minutes of this donkey, and it said, like, in the caption something like, this donkey's joy is contagious. And I was like, how excited can it, like, how great.
And then it was.
And then it was. And it was so joyful, and it was great.
I can see that. Donkeys have real personality.
Yeah. Like, they like that dog.
Maybe someday these hotels will offer, like, doggy AG1.
Well.
And then I'd say that's worth it.
A lot of places. I was dog sitting for a dog that was basically having its own little version, would take greens in the morning.
No.
And the owner said to me, this is like, because the owner also does AG1, takes AG1.
Yes.
And she was telling me, she's like, this is my doggy's AG1. And I did put it in there.
Okay.
And then that was a reminder for me to take my AG1 every morning.
Yeah, this I can get on board with.
See?
It just makes good sense.
Yes. I was laughing in the little teeny tiny doggy scoop.
This is the real deal. You want to get some good stuff in your body, and who doesn't? This is the ticket, because you create like this everyday routine, and then you're getting all that good stuff, all the supplements that you need in just one quick beverage. I'm into like the probiotic gut health stuff. That's
Please, we really need to be. And there are so many holes in our nutrition.
I know it?
Yeah,
Anybody that's
helps
been
fill those
for
in.
a while knows about my history of gut issues, we'll call them.
Yeah.
And this is such a great way to get what you need for gut support and for just energy and stress support, and immune health protection. So if you want this, that's why we partnered with AG1 for so long. They make such high quality products that we genuinely look forward to drinking every day. So if you want to replace your multivitamin and more, start with AG1, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription at drinkag1.com/braincandy. That's drinkag1.com/braincandy. Check it out.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I don't judge, though. If you want to take your dog to a dog hotel, I just don't think they care.
They don't. The dog does not care if they're in the princess suite or the like. I can't imagine.
I bet it's fun to work there, though. All those pooches.
Oh, absolutely. Did you say all those bitches?
No pooches.
Oh, I thought you said all those bitches, and I was like, "That's hilarious and a great joke." We're just gonna go with you said all those bitches. That's so funny.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. You want to know something I've been thinking about doing? Because there's this guy I follow on Instagram he's a dog trainer. He takes shelter dogs on runs. And I was thinking there's a shelter that I always drive by when I'm going for hikes. And I was thinking about going there and seeing if I could borrow a dog just to take him on a hike with me.
That's so cute.
Right? They would let me do that.
Well, my sister used to work at Animal Friends here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And my dad volunteered there.
Yeah.
And they had a system of paws that you could like get.
Yeah.
And you had to like maybe learn how to like do certain tasks. And then he was a paw too. He was really proud of himself when he got upgraded from paw 1. But I bet you they have maybe something similar where like
you prove that you can do this, and then here you go, and you can take these little doggies out, and the trail's like right there. Like
that would be really fun.
Right?
And they would be so excited.
So excited. And then I could have like my little friends that I come by and be like, "Oh, okay, Cookie, it's your turn."
You're going to have like 50 leashes. I could totally see you with like 10 dogs.
Yeah. Be
Just
that
like,
person just like, "Let's go, guys."
That would be so cute.
So cute.
I support this.
Okay, good.
Did you see that viral video of that husky that didn't want his walk to end?
Oh my gosh.
They were carrying it and it was howling. It was so sad.
It's so all the dogs and personality videos are just my favorite.
I wish we as people liked walking that much. I
think it's one of those things where you have to keep doing it a lot and then you enjoy it. Like, don't you feel you're somebody who's committed to your morning workout routine?
Yeah.
And don't you feel like that it's something that you, like, if you missed a day, you'd kind of feel like, oh.
Well, I wouldn't miss a day, number one.
Right.
I cannot break this goddamn streak. It's driving me crazy. But no, I would not feel that way. I only like the sense of superiority that it offers and the vanity and then the like health aspects, like the strength that you get. But that's so cumulative. It's not from one day.
Yeah, that's true.
But even, I know what you mean. Some people really do just like love going on walks and stuff.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's the same as a dog.
No,
They
definitely
are just,
not.
like,
No. They're like
relentless.
ready.
Yeah.
And there's another video of a dog who runs on one of those like treadmills for dogs. It's like self-propelled, and this dog is howling to get up there. Is like, come on, let me.
Yeah,
and it
that is
almost
not
looks
the
like the
same.
dog's in pain. Like some people in the comments
That's
are like,
right.
that dog can't. And the owner's like, this dog is obsessed with this thing
Yes.
and wants to. And then just like, put the leash on, let me go. and then just takes off and just starts running to nothing.
You
just
know what?
like wants to move its
Maybe
legs. It is
They
just,
must be like the dog equivalent, though, of like those ultra marathon weirdos.
yeah, where they're like, give me that rush. Like,
It's like a drug.
it's a drug.
Yes.
It's got to be like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess there is not all dogs are like that, so I guess it is
Yeah.
similar because some people like things more.
Yeah.
Some dogs like things
Yeah. And I love watching those like dog races that they have with the obstacle courses. And then sometimes they like, and the dogs who are just like so stoked to do it.
Yeah. They
And
are so energetic.
there was one video of an old dog who used to do that and couldn't do it anymore. But I think it was like something was going on, maybe like in one of those little doggy wheelchairs or something. But the owner still ran it through the course, and the dog was so excited and doing all the things like they normally do. And at the end was like, I did it. I'm like, dogs are the best.
They are the best, but then when I see how much they love like their loser owners, you know, that you've seen like those ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do we fall for this? They love anybody. It's not flattering if you love everybody.
Right.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. This is a little fun thing. This was one of my favorite sites. The Pudding did a study on the Rolling Stone greatest albums of all time. You know, they do the 500
Yep.
greatest albums of all time. They did one.
By dudes, for dudes.
Yeah.
That's what that should be
exactly. 2003. They did, Rolling Stones did one. Then they did 2012, and then they did 2020. But this was analyzing the data between 2003 and 2020. And it was just really interesting and fun to think about because, of course, this is subjective, and there is no such thing as like the greatest anything like that of all time. It's just...
It's like the greatest ice cream flavor. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I mean... There's a little more to it because it requires talent and skill to write songs and play music and sing and all that. But it depends on what you like.
Right.
And so that's what your point is. If you're only asking a certain type of person to rank them, then you're probably going to get a certain type of music.
Yep.
And this is something, you know, everybody's seen with these lists is that they, for a long, long, long time, were asking just like old white men.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2020, they did a really good job of diversifying the people that they were polling. And so they had way more women, way more people of color, non-binary people. And then, of course, the results changed dramatically.
Yeah, I'd say.
And so the Pudding is really fun because all of their data analysis is interactive. And so when you go to their site and you like scroll through it, it's like things pop out and you can like listen and whatever. So it's really fun to like visually see. But I just thought it was interesting that, so in 2003, 90% of polling people were men.
Oh,
90.
I mean, it might as well be 100%. What is that 10%
well.
of women going to really do?
Right, because like 10% is like Melissa Etheridge.
Yeah, and then if you have 90%, that gets drowned out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Say all those women vote for the exact same album, but it still wouldn't matter.
Well, when they published in 2003, like a few of the celebrity lists, like Billie Joe Armstrong and James Hetfield, and Flea, and they had all men in their top 10, for example. But then they also published Britney Spears, and she had Whitney, Madonna, Janet Jackson, and TLC.
Great.
In her top 10. Yeah.
There you go.
And
totally
you can debate whether they deserve to be there, but like it's a debate.
Yes.
It's not like, what are they doing?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so you see the importance of that kind of representation. But also, I think maybe even or equally important was the age component.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They were saying like we are drawn to music from our teenage years. That's how that goes. Our brains.
Okay, so the people
Yeah.
who were teenagers when all those
I mean, they fucking love the Beatles with all their heart.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
probably like Whitney less,
Yeah.
you know?
Totally.
I think what I liked, though, in the end, when they synthesized all of the data and zoomed out, was that it's fun. These lists are fun, and we can debate, and that is a fun cocktail party thing to do. But there is generally like a consensus that emerges after a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so like the albums from the 50s that are still there are like Frank Sinatra's Wee Small Hours, and like certain ones that like we still
timeless
have that feeling of like, oh.
Yeah.
But the more newer something is, the less perspective you have. And so it does take time for you to really get what was culturally important or great.
Yes.
So to
because
speak.
you need that time and that perspective.
Yeah.
To be able to really understand the impact that it had.
Yeah. But Pet Sound's still number 2.
Yeah. Because that is arguably
it's a masterpiece.
A masterpiece. Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe something else will come and replace it, and that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thoughts.
Oh, that's fun. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
That pudding.
It is. Let me see if I have something small. This will be fun. Okay. I had to wet my whistle.
Yeah.
So there was an article, I think it was in New York Mag or The Cut, and it was saying, like, why do women feel so connected to the moon? And, you know, I'm not really into that, but I know you are, so I think it's a fun topic. And, like, there's no answer.
Right.
It's just sort of like they focused heavily on periods.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the
lunar cycle is the same as the menstrual cycle.
How so?
28
the
days.
Length? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. Like they said 29 and a half days versus 28, but
like, come on.
It takes a while to see any difference there, but yeah. I mean, so do you think that's it? That's like what drives it still, even though we have
I think in different, it's kind of been like the sun is masculine and the moon is feminine. I think in
mythology and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the vibe I get from the moon. It's a lady.
Yeah. It's a lady, even though the man in the moon.
Yeah. What's he doing in the
You're like, who's to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember we talked about on the show how like when you see a face in, what's that word for what that is?
I can never remember, but it is a phrase, a word that I would like to use weekly, and every week I think about how
we should look it up and learn it.
Right. Because
there's
I get
a
that
word
every morning when I look at a tile floor, like a marble floor, I see faces, and it happens especially when I just wake up in the morning, before like my eyes and brain have really like made sense of where I am. There's a I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, there's a word for it when you look at an object and then see a human face.
Yeah.
But I forget what I was saying about it. But just how like humans tend to think that it's a man they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And we discussed on this show, like, what do you think that is? And I always thought that it was the hair. Like, there's no hair.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But
I would agree with that. But I would say the energy of, I don't think it like that visual is like a woman in the moon. I think I'm going to stick with you. It's a man in the moon. But I think the vibe of the moon is more feminine than it is masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's true, but I don't know why.
I know. I don't know why. I can't tell you why that is, but I know it to be true.
I do get annoyed when people talk about Mercury in retrograde and stuff, though.
Yeah.
Although I had a moment reading this article where it was saying how a lot of women reported that their period started on the day of the eclipse, and I am one of them.
Whoa!
So, I mean, they said that, and some of them said it was right when the eclipse happened. I don't know if mine was, but I know that
Dude, that's fucking cool.
And that it happened early, and that is true for me too.
Woo!
So maybe the
If
moon
I had a
is.
period, it probably would have
It
started.
would have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And since I was with you and another lady that day driving home, hers started too. Remember?
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Believe what you want to believe, Suze.
believe what you want, but I will say there was a moment reading that article where I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, wind it down. I said too much.
Yeah.
I don't like talking about periods. But since we started with pelvic floors, maybe it was
Right.
apropos.
Meant to be.
Gallery guy, we salute you.
But also we need more information.
Sarah would like to have a word.
I would like to know your thoughts.
And if you are going to watch the Jinx, just
watch the second
buyer
one.
beware.
Yeah, check which season you're watching. But if you haven't seen the first one, we got confirmation that it is good.
Again. Yes. Hospital beeps, however, are bad.
Yeah.
North Korea is bad. But Alan Titchmarsh.
Yeah.
Cool.
In his jeans.
Dude. In his jorts.
Yeah. Also, what are you wearing down there?
Let's see it. And dog hotels are hilarious.
Yes.
As are kazoos. Thank you for listening. Always thank you for using our codes. You're keeping the lights on over here.
Yeah.
Supporting the show. Let's face it, we're always on thin ice, so
we'll take all the help we can get. Buy our merch. Use our codes.
Join our Patreon. Join our book club.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you next time.